The best decision I ever made was learning to code and becoming a software engineer. But the second best decision I ever made was quitting my software engineering job and becoming a digital nomad. And in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly why that is and why every programmer should heavily consider quitting their job in their home country and becoming a digital nomad. I think one of the best parts about learning to code is that your job can be done remotely, which allows you to take advantage of an insane arbitrage opportunity, namely of earning money in one country from a powerful currency and then spending it in another country where the cost of living is much lower. I have now been doing this for the past 3 years. Essentially, I built my entire startup that is now making more than $20,000 a month, essentially while traveling around the world, across Asia, across Middle East. And in this video, I'm gonna tell you why this is such an amazing opportunity. I'm gonna break some of the myths that a lot of people have about this lifestyle, and I'm also gonna tell you why this is an opportunity that will not last forever and why you should take advantage of it now while it exists. But first, what is a digital nomad? So when I say digital nomad, technically what that word means is that you are essentially a nomad where you don't live in any particular country. You just travel around. Maybe you spend 1 month in Indonesia, then you spend 1 month in Thailand, then 1 month in Vietnam, or like whatever amount of time in whatever countries that you want to spend time in. However, what I'm talking about here is not strictly about being a nomad, as in that you are constantly traveling. That is actually not what I recommend for most people doing this long term. However, what I am talking about is specifically the arbitrage of earning from one country and spending in another, and why this is such an insane opportunity that every programmer should be looking to take advantage of. But to take a step back, the thing to understand is that every generation has a different set of opportunities. So in order to succeed in any particular generation, you need to be able to look at the world and see the opportunities that exist for this particular generation. For example, for the last generation, the best opportunity was undoubtedly to go to university and to get a high-paying job at a big company, because simply people with degrees were not that plentiful, so there was a scarcity. So therefore anyone with a degree, especially a valuable degree, could earn very high income relative to a lot of other people, which allowed them to essentially take advantage of this arbitrage opportunity of having this scarce thing that most people wouldn't have. These days, this is no longer an opportunity because everyone knows about it. Therefore, everyone is already getting degrees. Everyone has degrees, so this is not special, and therefore there is no extra potential for you to earn high returns from having a degree. And perhaps in the last 10 to 20 years, the specific opportunity, especially in the US and a lot of Western countries, was to learn technology, specifically software engineering, specifically coding, whether that is through university or not university, and then get a job at a tech company. Why is that? Well, because at that time, there was a massive shortage of tech talent in these countries. So companies were willing to pay very high salaries for this very scarce talent. However, now this opportunity has gone away. Well, obviously it hasn't totally gone away. It's still a great job to have, but now it's just more like a normal job with the normal pros and cons of any job, because there is no longer such an undersupply of developers, and it's much more difficult to get those high-paying jobs than it was before. But right now, there is a new opportunity that, thanks to the internet and thanks to the fact that it is possible to work remotely, what you can do is you can get a job or a freelance contract or even build a business in an expensive country like the US or Canada or any European countries, but you don't have to live there. Instead, you can live in more affordable countries in, for example, Southeast Asia. A lot of people also like Latin America, Eastern Europe. There's a bunch of amazing countries with actually amazing quality of things, like food is great, weather is great, they're actually already quite modern, they are even safer than Western countries, so you can take advantage of this arbitrage because the local economies in those countries are not yet that strong. So there is essentially this imbalance that exists today, which is the opportunity that you have, if you can recognize it, is that there are very high salaries in these Western countries, and when there are very high salaries in a country, that also brings the costs up. So if you live in the US and you work in the US, sure, you get the benefit of having the higher salary, but you also have to pay the higher cost, because eventually this always happens. Like if everyone's earning a lot, then everything is almost by necessity going to also be expensive. And the same kind of thing happens in the lower cost countries, where sure, it is lower cost, but also the salaries locally are so much lower, so still the ratios are going to be very similar. So if you want to get ahead, you need to either be above average in one of these countries, whichever end of the spectrum you're in, and earn much more than the average person, or you can literally just earn what the average person earns in one of these countries, expensive countries, and spend your money in one of these more affordable countries, and you can save an insane amount of money and live an insane quality of life for much less than your peers who are still back in their home country. This is exactly what I have been doing for the past 3 years, and I do not know why not more people do this. And it is a growing trend. More and more people are doing this, but it is still something that is not quite appreciated, and most people haven't realized it, which means that there are still a lot of companies who are willing to pay these high Western salaries because they essentially haven't realized that they could hire engineers that are just as competent in a lot of these more affordable countries. For example, Eastern Europe has amazing developers, India has amazing developers. Eventually, it is going to happen that companies are going to realize that we don't need to pay these Western salaries for these Western engineers who are, to be honest, not any better. They can instead hire in much more affordable countries, and this is a trend that is happening already, and I think it is going to keep increasing. So eventually there is going to come a point where companies in the West are going to realize that there is no point for them to pay these high Western wages when they can just pay much lower wages to remote engineers in a lot of different countries. So while now this opportunity still exists, if you want to work a job, you want to work for a company, this is the best opportunity you have to get ahead and save a lot of money and just build an amazing life for yourself. So how can you do this? Well, the first step is that obviously you have to learn the code. That is obviously the requirement. Nothing changes. You still have to be competent. But the second step is most likely that you are going to have to start working locally. What I tend to see is that companies don't like to hire remotely immediately unless they can already see that you have a lot of experience, essentially unless they already trust you. So it is completely fine that you start your career locally. This is also what I did. I was working in London where I was earning a London wage, but also paying London cost of living, so it was quite difficult to save. However, eventually, once you get to the point where you show to the company that they can trust you, you show that you're competent, especially in my company, I didn't even have to attend anything in the office locally anyway. So at this point, I was essentially allowed to work completely remotely. Now with this company, they had legal restrictions that I couldn't actually legally work from abroad, so this can depend on your company. So at this point, if you have gained this trust, your third step is to propose to your company, could you work remotely? If they agree, you can essentially now move abroad and save a ton on your cost of living and most likely also on your taxes, by the way, because most countries outside of the West are much lower tax. Obviously, this depends on the country and you need to seek specific advice for this, unless you are an American citizen, because American citizens still have to keep paying taxes to the US, even if you don't live there, although you do have an exemption of $120,000 a year around, I think it is right now, where you get an offshore exemption where you don't actually have to pay US taxes for that amount, but above that you would have to pay. So if you succeed with this, you're essentially now completely free. But if you don't, the other option you have for this third step is to become a freelancer. And in fact, for most people, especially once you gain some experience, this is probably going to be the best option because freelancers generally get paid more than employees because there's a lot less risk for the company to hire someone as a freelancer versus as an employee. And it's also much easier to do from a legal standpoint because often companies might have these restrictions where if you're an employee, you have to work from that country. However, if you're a contractor or a freelancer, which is the same thing, there is no requirement like this. They just care about, do you do the work? And then if you do it, then they pay you, and it's much more simpler from this point of view. And obviously the third option also is that you can build a business, which is what I have done. I left my job long ago. I've been running this YouTube channel as my main business since around 2023, but now in 2025, I built my startup, but it still uses the same principle. We sell to Western countries with higher purchasing power, but I spend my money in much more affordable countries in Asia, and I have my main residence in the UAE, which also gets me to benefit from 0% taxes personally, as well as for my company completely legally. And then essentially at this point, you can choose what kind of lifestyle you want to live. Do you want to live in one place, which is going to have the downside of you becoming a tax resident in that country, so you need to keep that in mind, or you can rotate around a couple of countries. A lot of people I know, they have a couple of bases around the world that they essentially rotate around. This is essentially how I've been also living for the past couple of years. I have one base in one country, another base in another country, and I kind of rotate around. And for me, this works extremely well. Obviously, if you have a family, there are different considerations there. It might not work as well, but especially if you're single, you can live like this. You can essentially possibly live in a way where you don't even become a tax resident in any country, which means you're gonna not only save on cost of living, but also in taxes and save up an insane amount of money on the same developer salary or developer income income that would barely get you by back in your home country. And then later on, if you want to take these savings and go back, you can do that. Or in most cases, people I know, they never actually want to go back, because in my opinion, life is actually much better in a lot of these other countries anyway. So that is just something that I would heavily consider, because I think this is just an insane opportunity specifically for programmers, because of the fact that you can work from anywhere. You don't need to be in an office to generate value, and you can also learn to code anywhere. So if you're into learning stages, perhaps you can also go spend your time in a much more affordable country, live on $1,000 a month, and not be so stressed about needing to land a job immediately. But obviously this is also not the right thing for everyone. Everything always depends. It's just something that has worked really well for me, and something that is very worth keeping in mind. And if you want to hear the full story of how I built my startup that is now making $20,000 a month in just 1 year, what I learned from this process, you can watch this video right here. So watch that video next. I'll see you in the next video.